Last fall, I was sent here by voters looking to put an end to the era of big government spending in Washington. And as soon as I was sworn in, I got to work creating a plan to balance our federal budget in 5 years. What I have offered is a real plan to restore fiscal order in Washington and address the looming debt crisis that threatens our nation's current and future prosperity. My plan fully balances the entire federal budget in 5 years, spending $4 trillion less than President Obama's massive budget. My 5-year budget plan even achieves a $19 billion surplus by 2016. It accomplishes this without changes to Social Security or Medicare benefits, but rather through across-the-board spending cuts and the repeal of Obamacare. By balancing in 5 years, this plan also meets the timeline set in the Balanced Budget Amendment, supported by every Senate Republican. In fact, it is the only budget plan that balances within the prescribed time. Several other Republican budgets have been offered. I am glad other Republicans are joining the conversation and offering solutions to a very serious debt problem. But none of these Republican alternatives balances within 5 years. Where are the Democrats and their plan? There doesn't seem to be any real initiative taken by the Democrat side of the aisle to balance our budget. The Democrats acknowledge that the debt is the largest threat to our national security, but refuse to consider meaningful spending cuts. The Senate Democrats have done nothing. They've had 2 years. Our nation has been threatened with a government shutdown and still no plan. In fact, now, once again, they've missed the legal deadline for passing a budget and no plan is in sight. Their only plan seems to be spending more money and raising taxes or borrowing more money from China to pay for it. The House budget proposal takes 26 years to balance and miscalculates the severity of our debt problem. And it fails to meet the requirement 47 Republican senators agreed to by co-sponsoring a balanced budget amendment. I could not in good faith support a budget that takes a quarter of a century to address a much more imminent debt crisis. We cannot allow Congress to continue to spend us into economic oblivion. We need a budget plan that balances sooner rather than later. We need bold action to bring our country back from the brink, and absolute silence on the issue or tepid proposals that mimic the president's budget or plans that simply kick the can down the road are unacceptable. We need a balanced budget amendment and a plan to balance within the 5-year window supported by all 47 Republican senators. I've introduced such a plan and I ask my colleagues to support it. I also invite them to propose how they would balance the budget in 5 years as we move this debate forward.